The United States is implementing significantly stricter entry regulations demanding extensive personal data from international tourists, including their social media activity. This move, which recently saw its objection period expire, will profoundly impact how travelers from countries like Germany and other European nations plan their trips. Under the proposed plan from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, future visitors may be required to disclose their social media accounts from the past 5 years. This includes platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and X. But the changes don't stop there. Applicants for entry will also need to provide numerous other personal details. This includes all phone numbers used in the past 5 years and email addresses from the last decade. Furthermore, comprehensive information about family members, such as their dates of birth, places of birth, and residences, will also be requested. Dear Chats, these new requirements are set to become a mandatory part of the ESTA application for visa-free entry into the United States. An application submitted without these details would be considered incomplete and could face rejection. The Trump administration asserts that these measures are crucial for protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security threats. This aligns with earlier actions, which already saw a tightening of visa requirements for international students, among other groups. While the German federal government's travel advisories have not yet officially addressed these specific new plans, they do remind travelers that U.S. authorities are already permitted to inspect and potentially extract data from personal electronic devices like laptops and cell phones, should there be reasonable suspicion. Beyond these entry rules, the United States has also suspended visa procedures for a total of 75 countries, adding another layer of complexity for many prospective visitors. This tightening of regulations comes amidst a challenging period for U.S. tourism. Despite the United States expecting approximately 73 million tourists this year, placing it third globally behind Spain and France, there's a concerning decline in international visitor numbers. Data from the International Trade Administration, part of the U.S. Department of Commerce, indicates a more than 5% drop in international overnight guests between January and September of 2025 compared to the previous year. Over 90 countries saw a double-digit decline, with Canada, Germany, France, and India experiencing the most significant absolute reductions in travelers. This trend, according to the U.S. Travel Association, began shortly after President Trump took office last January. And then, as the economic implications are substantial, the tourism industry is a vital component of the U.S. economy, contributing nearly $2.9 trillion annually, roughly 2.5% of the nation's gross domestic product, and supporting 15 million American jobs. An interest group's calculation highlights the severity. Every 1% decline in spending by international visitors translates to a loss of $1.8 billion. If current trends persist, the industry could face losses of up to $21 billion this year. While domestic travel remains more frequent and crucial for the U.S. market, overseas guests typically spend considerably more money per trip. Adding to the financial pressures, the cost of visiting national parks like Yosemite significantly increased for foreign visitors at the beginning of the year. Meanwhile, the US dollar has experienced a notable decline in value against the euro over the past year, with this downward trend continuing. The euro has recently surpassed 1.20 US dollars for the first time in 4 years, having gained more than 10% against the dollar in 12 months. While this poses challenges for export-oriented nations like Germany, it ironically makes goods and services in the US more affordable for foreign tourists paying in euros, Despite these headwinds, the U.S. travel industry remains optimistic, banking on a decade of growth driven by major upcoming events. This year alone, the United States will co-host the FIFA World Cup with Canada and Mexico, featuring an expanded format with 48 nations. The nation will also celebrate the 250th anniversary of its founding. Looking further ahead, Los Angeles will host the Summer Olympics in 2028, followed by the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City in 2034. Tourism experts believe these events have the potential to attract more visitors than ever before. None, however, these major events are not without controversy. The World Cup, in particular, has faced calls for boycotts from fan groups, officials, and even some politicians. These calls stem from issues like FIFA President Gianni Infantino awarding President Trump a newly created Peace Prize, Trump's pressure on Greenland, and the actions of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, in various American cities. The German Football Association, or DFB, has rejected these boycott calls. Furthermore, the political climate remains tense, with protests in cities like Minneapolis sometimes leading to violent clashes with migration and security authorities. The German Foreign Office advises visitors to remain vigilant, avoid large crowds, and comply with instructions from authorities and local security forces. For international travelers, planning a trip to the United States will undoubtedly require increased attention to detail and preparedness for more extensive scrutiny. The balance between national security concerns and the vital economic contributions of tourism continues to be a complex challenge for the United States. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. This video was generated using artificial intelligence. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more updates. See you next time.